It is simple service that measures success. These are the famous words of George Washington Carver, a scientist who dedicated his knowledge to serve humanity. According to Historic Missourians in 2022, George Washington Carver was a recognized chemist whose discoveries had revolutionary achievements for agriculture and farmers' communities, which is why today we will explore his biographic information. Second, what are his biggest accomplishments? And finally, how significant were his contributions? To begin, let's dive into Carver's origin story. He was born on a farm near Diamond, Missouri. The exact date of his birth is unknown, but according to history editors last updated in November of 2025, it is thought that he was born around 1864 to 1865. Carver was born in slavery to his mother, and when Carver was just a few months old, he and his mother were kidnapped by slave raiders during the Civil War era. Although Carver was returned to the farm, his mother was not. Carver and his older brother Jim were raised by Moses and Susan Carver. Here is where Carver learned how to perform many domestic tasks and also tended to the garden, and his curiosity and fascination with plants sparked. Carver was driven by knowledge, and the Science History Institute in 2025 states that at age 11, Carver left home to pursue an education. But he soon realized that opportunities to attend college for a young black man were basically non-existent. Therefore, he relocated to Iowa and was encouraged to enroll in college. And according to the previously cited Science History Institute in 1894, Carver gained his Bachelor's of Science degree and earned his Master of Science in Bacterial Botany and Agriculture in 1896. Dr. Carver became the first black faculty member of Iowa College. And I am sure by this point, Carver already seems like an outstanding character. However, this is just the beginning to learning what his biggest accomplishments were. Carver had two major accomplishments: the crop rotation and the peanuts. The first major discovery took place when, according to Iowa PBS, Carver left Iowa to take a job with Booker T at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. There he conducted agricultural research and taught farmers, but it was his ideas regarding crop rotation that became most valuable. According to the previously cited history editors, Carver learned that years of growing cotton had consumed the nutrients from the soil, causing low yields. But by growing nitrogen-fixing plants like peanuts, soybeans, and sweet potatoes, the soil could be restored, allowing yield to increase significantly when the land was reverted to cotton use a few years later. Farmers, of course, thought this idea was nuts, but loved the high yields of cotton they were getting now from Carver's crop rotation technique, which leads to Carver's second major discovery, the peanuts. According to the Science History Institute in 2025, farmers began to wonder what to do with all the sweet potatoes and peanuts. At the time, not many people ate them, and there weren't many other uses for these crops. However, from peanuts alone, Carver developed new products, and according to National Peanut Board, he developed more than 300 new uses for peanuts, including cosmetics, insecticides, glue, charcoal, rubber, which are just a few of the many valuable products discovered by him. Now that we have learned George Washington Carver's biggest accomplishment, let's look at the significance of his contributions. Because of his discoveries, Carver traveled the South to promote racial harmony, and he traveled to India to discuss nutrition in developing nations alongside Mahatma Gandhi, according to history editors. And Carver also developed traveling schools and programs to continue supporting and educating farmers. He published bulletins, distributed them to farmers for free, and they reported on his research at the Agricultural Experiment Station and his applications. Through chemistry and conviction, George Washington Carver was recognized for changing the agricultural and economic life of many farmers. And after his passing on January 5th, 1943, he left a great legacy. The George Washington Carver National monument now stands in Diamond, Missouri, paving the way for many more Black American scientists.